So today what I want to demonstrate to you is traditional minutes. Last week we did agendas and notices of meetings, which the notice of meeting is the intention to have the meeting, which gets sent out to all participants at least 2 weeks in advance. But generally the notice of the meeting can be sent out as an electronic appointment, maybe at the start of the year, the start of the month, start of term, something like that. Okay. The agenda is the actual schedule of activities, which a schedule of topics which are going to be discussed in the meeting. And if you remember correctly, there's always a specific running order for these. So we always start with apologies for those who have notified the meeting about their absence. So that's always the first topic on the agenda. And then we go on to previous minutes. So the previous minutes, everybody should have had a chance to look at them and they can then agree them, and then the chairperson signs them off. So that's apologies for absence or just apologies. Previous minutes, then matters arising is always the third topic, matters arising. Anything from the previous meeting which is not listed in today's agenda but may need to be updated. And the fourth topic should be correspondence, and that's any emails, letters into the organisation which the meeting need to be aware of. Sometimes it's correspondence to be dealt with, sometimes not, but it should be a heading on the agenda because it acts as a reminder to the chairperson to bring anything up. Then you would have the topics for the day being discussed, and then the final two items would on the agenda would be any other competent business, any other business or any other competent business, AOB or AOCB. And the final one would be date and time of next meeting. So if you're given minutes to type up of a meeting, or if you're taking minutes of a meeting, it's really important that you include these headings, same as you would in an agenda. So if we're going to be writing minutes, let me just share my screen. Okay. Let me just share this. Okay. And what I'm going to do is go into Word and create a new single-spaced document. Remember, single-spaced, because if we do just the blank document, Word puts in the spacing it thinks we want, and it causes us some problems. Okay, so in here we have a blank document. What I would do is put the heading of the meeting. So if you're working from your exercises, so let me just see if this will work here. If I can split my screen. There we go. That's it, split my screen slightly. So I'm working from the exercises. I'll put this down. If I go on to exercise 3, for instance. Okay, what I need to do in here when I'm typing the heading. Okay, so in bold, friends of the, I can adjust my formatting afterwards. Society. Okay, there we go. So, a meeting of the Friends of the Museum Society was, the typing is atrocious. In the study room of the museum on 3rd May. Remember, where it's got XX, you put in the most recent year date. So in this case, 2020 at 2000 hours. Okay. You can see what I've done here. Friends of the Museum Society, that's the actual name of the organisation, proper noun. So what we've done is I put capitals in here for the name of the organisation. Even though the exercise doesn't have it here, it's a proper noun, it's the name of something. So you would have initial capitals in there. Study room is the name of the room as well, so they also have there. But the museum is just the museum, so we don't have capitals here. I'm going to make this bit bold. Okay, and as we come down, present. Minutes of meetings should always start with a list of people present, and you can give them their full name and their title or their role there as well. So in this case, who have we got? I'm going to make mine bold rather than underline. I don't like underline. It's difficult for people with dyslexia to read. So present, okay. Take the bold off, and who have we got? Miss M. Hughes. And you could either write it as it is in the exercise with a comma and chairperson after it, or you can do a dash and chairperson. If you do a dash, remember there's a space before and after, or you can choose to put it in brackets. But whichever way you choose to do it, it must be consistent. Okay, so they must all look the same. So Mrs. L. Marriott, Museum Director. Okay, and again, this is a role, so capital letters there. Here we go. Mr. F. Greer. Okay, this is just a list now of the people present. Mr. R. O'Hara, Mrs. S. Matthews, Mr. P. Good, Miss S. Winters. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put the secretary up here as well. Mrs. A. Farlow, secretary. Okay, and for some reason my spacing has not worked out as I wanted it, so I'm going to go in there and sort this out just now. Paragraph, spacing multiple, so I'm going to put it all single. Okay, and this should be paragraph, spacing single, and it's the before and after, so there we go. That's better now. Okay, there we go. So apologies. Even though the exercise doesn't have the headings numbered, we would number them over here. Remember in the agenda, you always number the items, so you would do the same in the minutes as well. Okay, so 1. In fact, I'll make these bold. 1. Apologies. Okay, it's put in 2 for me already, so minutes of last meeting. 3 would be matters arising. 4, correspondence, whether we have it in our notes or not. The person taking the notes of the meeting may not know that correspondence has to be in there. Then we have schools exhibition. Schools exhibition. Then any other business or any other competent business, whichever you prefer. And then date of next meeting, date and time of next meeting. Okay, and you can see I've been very consistent. I haven't put capital letters in any of these. Sometimes in the exercises you'll see a capital in, maybe things like that. Make sure that you are consistent. Okay, so if you have capitals, you would use a capital on L and M, A, E, O, B, T, N, M. You don't tend to put initial capitals on words like of and little words, okay? But it's easier perhaps just to not have capitals, just to have capitals on the first word, okay? So that's my headings done for me, all in bold. So now if I want to actually type something, come down, take my bold off, and what would I do? Apologies were received from Mr. L. Wilson. Okay, so apologies were received from Mr. L. Wilson, full stop, and that's it. Okay, you can either have a space before and 2 spaces afterwards like that to separate out your items, or you can have it just like this. Okay, you would type it in order. I put my headings in there because they came up first of all, but you would actually type it in order. So the minutes of the last meeting having been circulated were taken and read. Okay, so take my bold off. The minutes of the last meeting having been circulated to members were taken as read and were approved and signed by the chairperson. Again, I would give chairperson, that's a role, so I would give it a capital letter here, but just be consistent, okay? Be consistent. Because you have a capital up here for it, I would use the capital down here. Matters arising, bold off. So the chairperson reported that 3 estimates have been received. The capital, consistency, chairperson reported that 3 estimates had finally been received. Okay, and then you would carry on with your typing, like the same with correspondence. Okay, in this case, we could just say there was no correspondence received since the previous meeting, because it's not in our notes, so there couldn't have been any discussed. Okay, so if you don't have correspondence over here, you should put it in and you can type it up there. Okay, right, this bit, the committee agreed the picture restoration. So you would again carry on typing. Okay, carry on typing your minutes. There we go. Make sure that you have bold off where you don't need it, and make sure you have a clear line space before each new heading. Okay, so in this case, bold off, and there we go. And take out that number, clear line space, and then date and time of next meeting. So the date and time of next meeting, say 200 hours. Okay, so the date and time of the next meeting was set for 8th of June 2021 at 20 or in 2021, but this meeting was all actually held in 2020, so it would be 2020 here. Okay, let me take the numbers out on my bold off, make sure I've got a full stop at the end of my sentence, and then what I would do is you need to leave space for the chairperson to sign and date it. And what happens is at the next meeting on 8th of June, everybody says whether these minutes are a true and accurate record of today's meeting, or are there any amendments to be made. If there's amendments to be made, then they are made, and the minutes are brought forward to the meeting after. Okay, but in this case, what we will do is chairperson. Okay, so you can put chairperson or chairperson's signature, I don't mind, and then date. Okay, for them to sign. If you want to, you can put in a series of dots, full stops. It's not incorrect if you don't. Okay, it's not incorrect if you don't. Sometimes it's easier for people to sign things if there is a line there. And there we go. And that's how you lay out traditional minutes. Okay, traditional minutes. So let me stop sharing my screen there. And come back. And that's traditional minutes. Okay, thank you.